Good morning and welcome to the second hour of the Art Lewis Show. It's Matt Felan with the Great Lakes Bay Regional Alliance serving as your guest host today. And the Art Lewis Show is presented by Westside Decorating Center. Visit them at 5789 State Street in Saginaw or online at westsidedecoratingcenter.com. I think, Jonathan, my next project may be hardwood floors. And I've taken a few samples home from Westside Decorating. I may have to save a few more nickels and give plasma before we get there because that is not a cheap endeavor.
No,
but
that's a big one.
That is a big one. But, I think that's the route we want to go long term. But seriously, folks, thank you to Westside Decorating Center for sponsoring the show, but more importantly, for being a dynamic small business here in Saginaw and in the Great Lakes Bay region. So before we get started with our guests this hour, Chris Eastlick, Matthew Mondro, Terry Henney, if any of you are listening, I'm looking for you because this is ridiculous. This is May. I need 75 and sunny. I want to see a bunny hopping across the backyard. I want to sit out by a fire and have an adult beverage. This is ridiculous.
Next week,
I
think.
I'm holding all three responsible. And anyone else who is in the meteorological field that I'm not thinking of, but I'm going to start with those three. It's Mondro, it's Henny, and it's Eastlick. The three of you are on my hit list for today. Also going to just remind everyone, we've been talking about this constantly, and we're going to keep talking about it, but I think it's the right lead-in for today. It is Give Local Day here in the Great Lakes Bay region, and it's our opportunity as citizens of this region to give back to our local charities. And one of the ones that is definitely highlighted today is the Children's Grief Center, the Great Lakes Bay region. You can find them, and I'll find out for sure here in a second, but I know through Give Local Midland for sure. You can go on there, and if you type them in or go through the list, you're going to see that organization. And that's who we're joined with here this hour. Chris Sabrin, the Executive Director of the Children's Grief Center. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning.
And Gabby Gauthier, Program Director for the Grief Center. Good morning, Gabby.
Good morning.
So we've had Chris on the show, so we're going to ignore him for a
Sure.
few minutes, Gabby.
Perfect.
You're the new girl, so we have to ask, who are you? How long have you worked at the Children's Grief Center?
Yeah, I've been at the Grief Center for 7 years.
So you're not the new
I'm
girl.
not. I have
girl.
seniority actually.
You-
Yeah, I've been there 7 years. I started as an intern, and then they couldn't get rid of me.
You know
I
what?
Stuck around.
That happens sometimes. Even myself, I was just asked to come in one day and fill in like 4 years ago just for one show. And Jonathan Dent's like, the guy won't go away. So that happens. That definitely happens.
Yeah.
So tell me, because when you work in the nonprofit space, it's challenging work.
Mhm.
And we're going to jump into more of what you do as an organization. What has made you stay 7 years?
Yeah. I guess to start is like when I started as an intern, this wasn't my goal. Kids really scared me. I didn't want to work with kids. I wanted to go into the hospice realm. Grief was my forte, but kids kind of scared me. But once I got into the work and worked with kids, it's like they're so impressionable, and they just want to talk about stuff, and they just want to have fun, and they want to be kids. And a lot of times when they don't talk about their grief, they can't be kids. So we allow them to be kids at the Grief Center.
So Gabby, I want to try to be lighthearted a little bit here, but it's a very serious issue. I am into grief as well.
Mhm.
I'm a Michigan State alum and fan, and the football team offers me lots of grief,
Sure.
but
Yeah.
definitely not the same way. When you say that's your thing, it's unfortunately been mine too, but very differently.
Yeah, I could see that.
So Chris, like I said, as much fun as we're having on a Tuesday, this is a very serious topic.
Yeah.
Can you talk about the organization and exactly what you do as an organization?
Yeah, absolutely. So the Children's Grief Center of the Great Lakes Bay region serves kids ages 4 to 18 who are grieving a death. We also serve their caregivers as well. So we do that in two major ways. Our program has 3 sites across Midland Bay and Saginaw counties, and we offer evening peer support groups where the kids and their caregivers will come in. Every time we have a group, we offer a meal, and then we have a strategy for the night, or we have a theme for the night. And to get started, we have them all together for the meal, like I said. Then we split them up into age appropriate groups, our littles, our Elmers, our middlers, and our teens. And they talk about that theme for the night in age appropriate language. And then the magic really happens. And I use the word magic a lot, Matt, when I talk about this, and I don't mean it lightly. Gabby talked about already that, the kids can talk about their grief. And when they come together in these peer support groups, they don't feel alone anymore. Before I became the executive director, I was in education. I was a teacher and school administrator, and saw that some of the kids that were grieving, they were in their classrooms, they felt by themselves. But when they come together at the grief center, they're not, and that magic happens. After about a half an hour, those kids come together and they play. They all play together. We've got lots of activities, high energy activities. We have arts and crafts. And after about 45 minutes, they come back into those age appropriate groups, review the evening, talk about what they loved about group and what they're looking forward to. And then they're on their way. But another part of our program is that the adult caregivers that come with them are invited to take part in their own peer support that night, their own concurrent group. And the magic again about that is they talk about the same types of ideas and themes that the kids talk about. So when they reunite at the end of the night, they have a common language, and they immediately start talking about what they learned that evening. Secondly, we take our program into the schools during the day, and our school program has just exploded. When I came on board, we were in about 10 schools. And as of this school year, we'll have taken our peer support program model in. We shrink it down to about an hour into about 55 schools across the Great Lakes Bay region to help schools close that gap, to help kids that are grieving be more successful in school and be more successful and happier emotionally.
So, Chris, a couple follow-up questions. The first one, how many kids per year do you see?
This year, between our school program and our evening program, we topped 700 kids.
And when you're in the schools, so I'm going to guess first and foremost, it's for kids who have lost someone at home, right? Or in their life. But do you ever go into the schools, to work with a school when the school itself loses a child and the classmates and teachers and everyone involved is really struggling with the death? And we see it, unfortunately, too often. It could be suicide. It can be sudden death. It can be a car accident. Someone is ill and they, had cancer or something. We lose kids too, and it's a terrible thing for a school building when that happens. Do you work on both of those?
We do.
And how does that work?
Yeah, we'll toss it to Gabby for that one.
Yeah. We're here to support the schools in whatever way we can. A lot of times schools have a structure in place already, so they have the team to be able to talk to the kids. We offer a response group if it's needed. We always reach out to these schools who have lost a student or a teacher, and remind them that we're here to provide peer support in the weeks and months and years after a death. We have done response groups pretty shortly after a death too, and we go in and we meet with the kids and we do a memory box in honor of that person who died, and we give it to their family. We're really there to just hold space with the students if they need it, but we're always here if those plans aren't in place from the school perspective, but we're here even if they are to provide extra support.
Well, hey, appreciate this dialogue. I want to continue it because you have a lot of amazing events coming up. There are different ways that people can support the organization. We want to hear more, but we're going to take a break, and we'll be back after these messages.
We're proud to make Pioneer Sugar for you and your family. Proud to be found in your kitchen, the heart of your home. And it doesn't really matter what you make with Pioneer Sugar, whether it's with our granulated white, light brown, or soft confectioners. It's the memories you'll make using it that will matter the most. Pioneer Sugar, pure and all natural. Made from sugar beets grown right here. What could be sweeter than that?
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Cordell & Cordell is the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. That does give us certain advantages, for example, in focus and resources. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. If you're a guy facing divorce, remember, Cordell & Cordell, a partner you can count on. Visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
Trust Will knows that we'll all eventually need a will. How about right now? Trust Will makes creating your will easy, like while you're lounging on the couch easy. Trust Will is designed by attorneys but customized by you, and all documents are state-specific and secure. Find your plan at trustandwill.com and use offer code RADIO now for 20% off. That's trustandwill.com, offer code RADIO. Trust Will is an online estate planning service. Visit trustandwill.com for details.
I'm Charles Payne, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Stocks opened sharply lower. Palantir Technology shares are down 10.5%. The data analytics company reported earnings in line with forecasts, and it's raising expectations for the year, but the stock's been trading at high levels. Tesla shares down 2.5% after disappointing car sales in Germany. Ford says it can't predict its business for the year. It estimates tariff-related costs will cut around $1.5 billion off its earnings this year. The stock down nearly 1%. DoorDash shares are down 7%, but the food delivery company is getting bigger, buying London-based delivery service Deliveroo and 7Rooms, a tech company that serves hotels and restaurants. Clorox reported disappointing earnings, the stock down 6%. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Jen Kusola, invested in you.
The following heartwarming yet informative scene is brought to you by Trust and Will.
Son, your grandpa and I used to work on this car together, and when I'm gone, I want you to have it.
Wow. Thanks, Dad.
Doesn't count. What you need is a will. Luckily, Trust and Will makes it easy. Designed by attorneys, but customized by you, you can easily create a state-specific, legally valid document that actually counts. Now, let's let the engine do the talking, am I right? Start your will at trustandwill.com. Use offer code COUNT for 20% off and make it count. Trust and Will is an online estate planning service. For details, see trustandwill.com.
Patrick was way behind on his IRS taxes.
I was in way over my head. The total amount ended up being somewhere just over $30,000. $30,000.
Then the IRS came to collect.
Started getting letter after letter. A lien had been filed against me. They were going to basically hang me completely out to dry.
He had to do something.
That's when I reached out to Optima Tax Relief.
Patrick's life quickly got a lot easier.
It was very easy, pretty much hands off. They picked up the ball and ran with it.
And how'd it go?
I couldn't believe it. I had to ask 2 or 3 times. I saved an incredible amount of money.
How does Patrick feel about Optima?
Couldn't be happier. They definitely helped me. Optima Tax Relief, the best place to call. They're the best in the business.
Do what Patrick did and call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Your WSGW morning team.
What might be coming across the border into the United States? It isn't drugs that's been a big concern. Since October, border officials have seized, it says, 3,768 poultry-related products. El Paso, for example, since January, agents, they say, have foiled 90 would-be egg smugglers.
Well, it makes sense trying to smuggle eggs in. I hear at the border they come over easy.
Oh, my gosh. What's actually going on, too, for a lot of people is people are going across the border and bringing back eggs because agents say they don't realize they can't. So they're asking travelers when they're coming back, what do you have? And a lot of people say, well, I've got these eggs.
No one's coming across the border and going, well, I've got this fentanyl. I thought I could bring this across.
People might know that.
It goes back to that classic guy on the street corner with a trench coat. Hey, buddy, you want to buy some eggs?
Got a dozen for you right here.
The morning team on WSGW.
Welcome back to the Art Lewis Show. It's Matt Felan of the Great Lakes Bay Region Alliance, joined this morning by Chris Sabrin and Gabby Gauthier with the Children's Grief Center of the Great Lakes Bay Region. And before the break, we're talking about different ways that you can help. So we're going to start with the first, which is Give Local Day, guys.
Got it.
And you guys have been part of Give Local for years. And I'll be honest, I first started giving to the Children's Grief Center of the Great Lakes Bay Region simply because of Give Local. I was on the sites and I'm like, I want to support some regional organizations and kind of spread the wealth. But, you know, being that our job is regionalism, I'm like, okay, this is easy. Go support regional entities. And I just typed in Great Lakes Bay and up it popped. And I'm like, okay, gonna need to support this one. I learned a lot more about it. But I'm also going to say we have a staffer that I think you guys know well, Ken Horn, former state senator from Frankenmuth, represented Saginaw County for years. I don't really know how to say this, but Ken has been able to overcome and deal with a lot of grief in his life. And he was hit with it again recently with his wife's passing. But years ago, he lost a granddaughter. And his grandson, I know, sought counseling with your organization. And I don't know how you even got brought up yesterday. You got brought up in a meeting. We were talking about organizations we're going to highlight today and talk about. And Ken kind of stopped the meeting to talk about the positive impact that you guys had on Liam, on their family, what it really meant. And so, at least in our case, you don't have to go very far before you run into an organization like yours that are here in the region doing great work every day. Why don't, Chris, we start there? How can people support with Give Local? And does this go to your endowment?
It does. Yeah, the Give Local Day today goes directly to our endowment fund. We hold our endowment fund with the Midland Community Foundation. And yeah, every dollar that goes in there doesn't give today, but it gives for the future of the Grief Center. Our endowment fund is a huge asset to the Grief Center. And anybody that is willing to give to that, they're helping the Grief Center be around for many years to come.
So we were just talking about what's going on May 17th. And if I'm not mistaken, you guys have a big day.
We do.
Jonathan Dent has sent a note to corporate. We're looking to get the Alpha Media corporate jet over to come to your event. It is the day at MBS Airport. Tell me about it. There are two events here. The 5th annual Children's Grief Center of the Great Lakes Bay Region, Grit Your Grief, Run the Runway.
Absolutely.
And then there's also Flying Pancakes, which is get your jet and your plane and fly into MBS and have pancakes. I'm guessing that there may be other options. But let's talk about the first. Let's talk about the 5K. And will Jonathan Dent win his age group this year?
Yes. How's that, Jonathan?
I think I'll be there, but I don't know.
So our 5K, it is the 5th annual. It's our 3rd year out at MBS International Airport. Big shout out to James Kanders, director of the MBS International, for his support and helping us make this happen. The 5K itself is a run walk, and it happens on the main taxiways and on a portion of the main runway. James was able to get FAA and TSA approval to make this happen. The one main, or I should leave that to James to say main runway or not, but one of the runways stays active. So there'll still be airplanes coming in and out, which will be part of the pancake flying that I'll talk about shortly. But running out on the runway and on the taxiways is a completely new perspective. If you've never done that before, you really don't understand how big those runways are until you as a human are standing out there. It's pretty incredible. The course also takes you on the operations side of all of the hangars. You know, driving on Garfield Road, you usually just see the front, I guess the front backside. I guess I'm not sure of perspective, but when you see the operational side, it's pretty exciting. But beyond that, we have a color run, which doesn't happen on the runways. That happens outside in a grassy space, but we've tried to turn this into a family festival. So we have a color run, we have bounce houses, we have a kids zone, we have a DJ there. We will have the flying pancakes there. We also have a soda bus that it's going to be there too. So we're really excited about the event, May 17th.
Chris, we have a lot to unpack here.
There's
so we're going to get into
tons
this, okay?
going on.
So first of all, No, I haven't run on a runway. When I'm on a runway, I try to stay in the plane.
Okay.
I like the door shut until it arrives at the terminal, and I stay seated until the flight attendant nicely says, and I hear the ding, and now I know that I can get up and move about the cabin. So I have not done that.
I could see a movie moment where you're chasing after a plane, though.
So no,
I could totally see that being something in your past.
Could be, but this time I'm gonna win. I'm gonna be out there. I'm gonna be told, hey, there's a plane coming into land. You're gonna need to move your behind on that runway, or you're gonna get run over. Like, I don't know if running on the active runway is the move. I'm gonna tell you, believe it or not, no judgment, but I've run a share of 5Ks.
Sure.
I have seen people go off course all the time, whether it's intentional or unintentional. Suddenly cut down the wrong road. They're suddenly through a field. They ran right instead of going left. They zig versus zagged. Are we a little worried that, Bob from Freeland is just going to run left and be in front of the United Airlines jet? Is the insurance paid on this one?
Yes, the insurance is paid, number one. But number two, I am happy to report to the entire Great Lakes Bay region that we haven't had that happen. And I won't say yet. We do have volunteers. We have volunteers out at every turn. James also has airport personnel out there too, to ensure that we're not veering off of the course. So there's lots of people to help the runners get where they need to be.
Okay, so let's keep unpacking here. You said something about soda?
I did. Yeah.
Is it a soda truck? What do we have out there?
It is my Michigan soda. I don't know. They're brand new. They're a brand new organization, a brand new business. They have a soda bus, and they're going to be there serving their, I believe the term is dirty sodas, but they take soda and then they mix it up with different flavors and so on, and they'll be there as well.
Yes, let's do this.
Yes.
So then the last
Forgive
one
me, guys, if I forgot your business name. I just met them the other day.
Oh, no,
So-
totally fine. And I will tell you, I'm a giant fan of any 5K that ends with beverages. My favorite is St. Stan's.
Oh, I bet
because
it
when you're
is.
on the 5K, you go into the beer tent and then you get a big frosty brew and a Polish sausage with kraut and some pierogi. Fantastic way to end a 5K.
That's a great way to do it.
So tell me about flying pancakes. Are the
pancakes.
pancakes flying? Like, do the pancakes actually, do they have wings? Do they fly across the room? Do I fly in on the corporate jet and then eat pancakes? What are flying pancakes, y'all?
Yeah, Chris's Cakes is coming in, and their whole shtick is to throw the pancakes at you, and so you're supposed to catch your pancakes, and it's kids love it. You got to catch it. They have every time they try to break the record for throwing the longest pancake. So
you could be the one, Matt. If you catch your pancakes, you could break the record.
So I have a question. A friend of the show and a friend of the Great Lakes Bay Region Alliance, Martin Jaliga, the airborne angler. Can he fly his plane in that day and come in and have pancakes? Is that part of the day where people can fly in and actually have pancakes? And do people do it?
Yeah, it is. And that was actually the inspiration for this idea. Every year we try and think of something new for this event, because we can't change the course really, because we're fixed in what the course is. We try and think of something new, and credit to James and actually Courtney Page previously. They thought of a fly-in pancake breakfast, which is pilots like to do that. They look for excuses to fly, and this is one of the big draws for pilots. And so the idea for the fly-in pancake breakfast was pursued. That's how we got connected with Chris's Cakes, and we've been publicizing it to area EAAs. I know James has put it out at lots of airports that this is happening. I'm trying to think, what else was I going to say about that? I don't know. I guess, it's just
your
the flying
timing's
pancake
great
guys.
because we have to go to
We have to go to
commercial, so we can
Okay,
regroup.
sounds
But
good.
two things for our listeners out there. One, if you know Chris Eastlick, make sure you know I'm looking for him. And two, now if any of you know Marty, the airborne angler, make sure he knows he is requested to fly in on May 17th to MBS for flying pancakes. He's expected to be there now. We'll be back.
Covenant Healthcare is where the next generation is born. We're also the birthplace of innovation, advanced treatments, and hope. With more than 500 physicians across specialties, we're the most preferred health system. Learn more about our next generation extraordinary care at covenanthealthcare.com. Choose extraordinary. Choose Covenant Healthcare.
We are all anxiously awaiting the approach of spring. Longer, warmer days, trees budding, perennial flowers blooming, and the return of our state bird, the robin. What we're not looking forward to is rain, flooding, thunderstorms, and of course, power outages. Oh no! No one wants to be caught off guard with a sump pump problem during a heavy downpour. Reamer Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning can help you plan ahead to avoid a flooded basement. They sell and install primary electric pumps as well as water and battery-powered backup pumps. Reamer Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning can also bring you back to normal from a wet basement with maintenance or replacement of a flooded water heater, furnace, or boiler. Trust the experts with your plumbing and heating mechanical needs in your home. You have a family doctor. Do you have a family plumber? Reamer Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning, 989-792-8738, or find them on the web at reamerplumbing.com.
Any way you spell it, Reamer means quality.
Look, there goes another one. Another used vehicle with the Wilson Ford Lincoln name on the back. Jim Wilson, you're selling a lot of used cars and trucks.
We're seeing people from all over the state. It's amazing.
Look at these registrations from Frankenmuth, Caro, Flint, Birch Run, Elma, and lots of people from Bay City and Saginaw.
When you can buy this kind of quality vehicle at the prices we offer, it's well worth driving a few extra minutes.
Customers are telling us they've shopped around, sometimes 4 or even 5 different dealers.
We consistently beat market prices on the most in-demand vehicles, and with our growing sales volume, we truly need and we will pay more for your trade.
This is the Ford Lincoln dealership making headlines with the finest pre-owned vehicles for less, much less. Wilson Ford Lincoln, Bay Road, Saginaw, or at wilsonfordsaginaw.com.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
April is Financial Literacy Month, and creating a realistic household budget and learning to save are the first steps in reaching your financial goals. Financial expert Jean Chatsky has more.
While many people would benefit from consulting a financial advisor, learning basic financial practices is easier than you think. The goal of any financial plan is saving for the future, so create a budget and stick to it. It allows you to determine your ability to save.
Choosing the right place to save is just as important as saving itself.
It is never too late to begin saving. Many people put their money in regular savings, which typically offers very low interest rates. Instead, consider an FDIC-insured high-yield online savings account with higher returns. AARP members can put money in high-yield online savings and CD accounts through Barclays and get the highest return the bank offers. It's a smart way to save for your future.
For more, visit aarpdigitalbanking.com. Content is sponsored by Barclays.
Broadcasting online, courtesy Stormmaster Exteriors. And from the Stormmaster Exteriors studios, this is WSGW.
Welcome back to the Art Lewis Show. It's Matt Felan with the Great Lakes Bay Region Alliance, joined today by Chris Sabrin and Gabby Gauthier with the Children's Grief Center of the Great Lakes Bay Region. And let's go back to talking about soda.
Perfect. Thank you.
Tell me about the soda company.
So, I apologize to my friends at My Soda Parlor is the name of their business. They're going to be there. So
don't apologize, because you know why? Now we're all talking about My Soda Parlor over and over again. And so the whole world's getting to know much more. You can go to misodaparlor.com. You can also find them on Facebook, where they craft refreshing, high-quality sodas that blend flavor with creativity. So very cool entity that's going to be out. So Gabby, for folks who want to get involved in this event, how do they register for the 5K? Or if you're Jonathan Dent and Matt Felan and you don't own a jet or have a corporate jet, how can we go out and eat flying pancakes?
Yeah, you can go to our website, childrensgriefglbr.org. We also have a Facebook, which has all the links. We are pushing it obviously very hard. So you will see lots of posts on everything that we are offering that day. For the pancakes, you do not have to have a plane. If you'd like to attend, you can drive your way over to the airport and we will be there. You'll see all of our signs waiting for you.
You know what I think we should add to this? I'm
Mhm.
adding to it for the 6th. They don't know this right now, but we're adding cool things. I think for the 6th annual one, you should do a competition where people bring toy planes from home. Whether it's a model, whether it's like the little plane from Plane, something that's cool. If there's something they all have at home for some reason, could be a Christmas ornament, you name it. We all have some kind of cool plane related something, right?
All right.
Why don't we add that next year? And then, maybe your presenting sponsor, who those guys look like something else from Alpha Media, could be the judges of the plane contest for this next year. Who's in?
That sounds pretty fun.
Sure. Sounds good.
And then we can post on, do we have Instagram too?
Yeah, we do.
We're going to post pictures on Instagram. We're going to be on Facebook. People are going to bring in toy models and cool things, and we're going to do a whole plane thing. What about, I'm going to keep adding to your event. What about a paper plane throwing contest as part of the event as well?
That would be an interesting idea. There's a nice big grassy space out there away from the secure fence. I'm sure James wouldn't mind that at all.
Yeah, or while we're doing pancakes inside and people are eating, there's just pancakes, pancakes flying and paper planes flying all over the place.
Sounds good to me. I think it sounds like, Gabby, we have a new event chair sitting right next to us, right here.
And Jonathan is going to be happy to do that. You are right. He's sitting right here, right next to you. He will do a fantastic job as your event chair. I think that's a great ask to make of Jonathan for next year. And with that, this is the last time Chris and Gabby are ever coming on the show when Matt is here creating more work and more events. So I want to zip back out to the 50,000 foot level and talk a little bit more about the organization.
Sure.
So do you have brick and mortar location? And if so, where are you located?
So our home office is in Midland. Actually, it's right next to Costco, pretty close. That's where we hold our Midland groups. The other two groups in Bay and Saginaw County, we rent space. So in Saginaw County, we rent space from the Mid-Michigan Children's Museum, and they are amazing partners. We hold our groups after their business hours, and they allow us to use the entire building. So that playtime that I talked about before, the kids have the opportunity to play in the museum. In Bay County, we are at Unity of Bay City. And although Unity is a faith-based organization, we are not, but the building works out great for us because it's an old previous elementary school. So there's lots of green space. There's lots of nice big rooms for us to use. And one of our volunteers actually recommended that we look into that building. So we rent space from Unity Bay City and in Michigan Children's Museum with our home office in Midland.
So Gabby, let's talk about the boss in front of him, not behind his back. How many staff members do we have at the organization right now?
We have 5. So our volunteers and our interns are a huge asset to the team. They really keep us going.
Yeah, and what are the various staffers? Who are they and what do they do?
So I have Lexi. She is our school grief support specialist. So she is new as of last year. She is heading up the school program and really, was monumental in extending us into those 55 buildings we mentioned. We have Stephanie, who she's the program and office coordinator, but she does a little bit of everything. We like to call her the miscellaneous person. And then Holly Etzel is our admin coordinator. So she does all the money stuff.
So one of the things I love that you talk about is volunteers. What is your need for volunteers right now? How many folks you're looking for? What kind of skills and talents? And people that are listening and they want to engage in this, what do they do?
They can contact us, go to our website, go to our Facebook, call the office. We are always looking for volunteers to help in groups, help with the big events like the 5K. We have a camp coming up in the summer on July 12th that we would love to have volunteers for. We have volunteers that, help in the building, help organizing if they don't really want to work, they don't feel like they're ready to work with kids. But we have a training coming up in June to be trained to work with the kids on how to reflective listen and just be able to hold space for those families.
Great. And Chris, question for people that don't know. How are you funded? Is it 100% private donations? Do you get any government funding or grants? And just how is the organization established? Are you a C3? It's helpful for people to know how they're getting involved with an organization.
Absolutely. So we are an official 501c3 nonprofit organization, completely funded by grants, sponsorships, donations, and we do not get any federal funds. So everything is the grants that we write are from private foundations or other family foundations. And like I said, sponsorships and donations are the way we run the organization at this time.
So one thing that I do love about you guys is that you're a regional organization. So when we going into Isabella County, when's the expansion, Chris?
Well, they're on our radar. So Isabella County is on our radar, and the Flint area has reached out to us for some support too. So we're trying to figure out how to support both to the south and to the west.
Well, we're going to take one more break, and then we'll be back with our final segment of the Art Lewis Show.
Hey, it's Charlie Rood here on WSGW to tell you about ProLine Coatings in Bay City. I think ProLine Coatings in Bay City is where you should go to get your rust-proof and undercoat for your vehicle. That's because ProLine Coatings uses an exclusive coating process, a process available for both new and used vehicles. Though if it's done for your new vehicle, you get a lifetime warranty. This ProLine Coatings process only needs to be done once to keep your vehicle protected. What's the secret? Only ProLine Coatings is using military spec waxed-based rust-proof and undercoat products. That's the solution so salty Michigan winters don't destroy your vehicle. Protect your vehicle with ProLine Coatings. Wilder Road, Bay City. Call and get a quote today. 989-671-9820. 989-671-9820. ProLine Coatings, Wilder Road, Bay City.
Welcome to Protect That Potato, America's favorite game show about protecting potatoes. Tonight's question: how do you get long-lasting residual control of white mold and early blight with enhanced yield performance? EnduraPro fungicide? Correct! Yeah. It's a clear victory with EnduraPro fungicide, the newest weapon against the toughest potato diseases. Now available from BASF. Ask your retailer about EnduraPro fungicide. Always read and follow label directions.
This is Matt Felan, inviting you to check out Hey Great Lakes Bay every Saturday morning at 9 and Sunday afternoon at 4 on WSGW and online at WSGW.com. Every week, I'm joined by awesome people from Saginaw, Bay, Midland, and Isabella counties talking about what makes our region so great.
Hey Great Lakes Bay is presented by Dow Credit Union and supported by Ken Volker of Wilson Realty, Wood Reviver, Sign Tech, Tim's Tony's in Saginaw, and the Bay Area Community Foundation.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out collection letters, garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance, and you better watch out because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it even harder to get out of debt. Don't let tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in taxpayer assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. Let them fight on your behalf, helping to put your tax problems to rest. Call the tax professionals at Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
I went hands-free.
I went hands-free.
I went hands-free.
I went hands-free with Skechers Slip-ins.
Join the millions of people who are celebrating going hands-free with Skechers Slip-ins. Footwear you just step into and they're on.
It's crazy how something as simple as a pair of shoes have made my life better.
After trying Skechers Slip-ins, I want all my shoes to have this technology.
See what everybody can't stop talking about. Go hands-free with Skechers Slip-ins at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
News coverage.
In 100 days, we have delivered the most profound change in Washington.
Consumer confidence plunged amid concerns about tariffs.
We'll see a drop on our import side of the business by about a third.
President Trump praised Ukraine's leader, Volodymyr Zelensky.
He wants to do something good for his country.
News.
The 2025 Dow Championship returning to the Midland Country Club.
Police in Saginaw arrested 2 people following a vehicle chase.
News coverage on WSGW.
Welcome back to the Art Lewis Show. The Art Lewis Show is presented by Westside Decorating Center. Visit them at 5789 State Street in Saginaw or online at westsidedecoratingcenter.com. So this is the final segment of our show today. It's Matt Felan, Jonathan Dent here filling in for Art, and we're joined today by Chris and Gabby from the Children's Grief Center of the Great Lakes Bay region. I've been chatting about their big day coming up on May 17th. So Chris, for people who are listening, want to make sure that we're reiterating, this is a fundraiser. And is this your biggest event of the year?
It is. It's our biggest one.
So cost to eat pancakes, how much?
$10.
$10.
All you can eat. All you can eat, all you can catch, all you can get to the table and go ahead and eat.
Wow.
And there's actually pancakes, sausage, syrup, coffee, and you're old enough. You remember Tang, right?
Oh God, yeah.
It's delicious. They serve that too.
That's the astronauts drink
good.
That.
It is. Yeah. That's all part of the menu.
Go. Hey, thanks for calling me old today.
Hey.
While we having you on the show. I mean,
I think we're the same
needed
vintage,
that reminder.
Matt. I think we're okay.
Thanks for that, Chris. Appreciate it.
Are the all-you-can-eat pancakes after the running of the 5K?
Actually, before and after. I should mention they start at 7:30 in the morning. So the pancake starts at 7:30. 5K starts at 10. So you can eat before or you can eat after. Pancakes will be around till 2 p.m.
Okay, runners in the Great Lakes Bay region. This is your trainer, Matt Felan, strongly encouraging you to eat the pancakes and drink the Tang after the 5K. Unless you're like Bridget Staffolino level runner, I'm going to need you to follow that advice. And then how much is it to be part of the run and walk?
So the 5K itself, at this time, early registration is $35 for the run walk. The color run is $20 a participant, but if you have a family of 4, we'll give you a discount and it'll be $60 for the family. And
what if you do this just like maybe I did my entire collegiate career and are the ultimate procrastinator and decide the days ahead of the event that you're doing this? What's the cost?
$45 at the door. So go ahead and show up. We will definitely get you what you need to get on the runway. And I know it'll be a beautiful weather day, so we'll need as many people out there as we can get.
So remember, folks, for all those that complain about the procrastinators in your life, we're the people that end up giving 20% more to charity because we sign up for the day or day beforehand. So
there you go.
You're welcome that we're there to procrastinate till the very last second and decide that that's what we're going to do.
Matt, we appreciate all of those people.
We work for you.
I know. I appreciate you all. Absolutely.
So when you look at the organization, you're kind of one of those organizations that we look at and go, gee, we wish you didn't have to exist, right? We wish that you actually just didn't have to be here. But the reality is you're an organization that's always going to be here because death is a part of life. It is going to impact all of us personally. It's a great equalizer, right? We're all going to pass and we all lose loved ones through time. Gabby, I'm going to turn to you on this because you said at the start that grief has been an important part of your life in terms of this is what you do, and you thought you were going to work for hospice, but worked here. It's a very heavy subject, right? And it's very difficult, and you're working with kids who are upset who may have lost a parent or a grandparent or someone that they're very close to, right?
Yeah.
How do you find the energy every single day to go and tackle this? And how do you yourself sometimes maybe don't get overrun by emotion yourself, or just, I'm sure you get close to some of these kids and you really connect with them and get to know them and you see them hurting. How do you yourself, as someone who works in this space, work through that every day and continues? For the fact that you can do this for 7 years is amazing. So thank you to you. But how do you every day get that motivation to help these kids overcome and to you yourself kind of keep an even keel?
Yeah, I appreciate the question. I think a lot of it is, obviously self-care, right? Taking care of myself, making sure I have my own support system. But I think part of it is flipping the perspective on working with these kids who are grieving. That, every time we introduce ourselves and we say our name, our age, our person, or people who died, and our favorite rule, and a lot of times there's a rule that's I passed. Kids don't have to talk if they don't want to. But the first time that a child says that their dad died after, coming for a couple weeks and they haven't said one word, it's a moment to celebrate, which is not something that you'd expect, as I say, in the real world, but like in our group setting, it's so exciting for them to be able to get that fact out of their body and start that step towards a healing process. I don't think you're ever actually healed, but being able to talk about it openly is so powerful. So to be able to just connect with those kids and give them an outlet, I think is what keeps me going here.
Yeah, thank you for bringing that full circle,
Yeah.
because the people like yourself who work on this day in, day out, who are on the ground level working directly with the kids and the family members. This is a big deal that you work on this. So thank you for bringing it full circle.
Yeah.
Just to end, Chris, for you quickly, where again can people go to register? What's your website?
childrensgriefglbr.org. There's a button right in the middle that takes you to a link tree where you can sign up to volunteer. You can sign up to register for the race. You can even buy early tickets for the pancakes if you want, but you can also get your pancake tickets right at the door.
Great. And last thing that I'm just going to plug again, folks, it is time to give local. You can go to givelocalmidland.org, search for Children's Grief Center of the Great Lakes Bay region, make a generous donation and support their endowment. A lot of ways we can support you. So great seeing both of you today. Good luck on the 17th, and I hope Jonathan wins his age division. We will be back.
Spring is here. The grass is green. Look at all the beautiful flowers. There's only one thing to mar this perfect picture: the annual task of scraping and painting your old garage door.
Well, get back to enjoying spring with an all-new garage door and opener from the pros at M&R Garage Door. A pre-painted, maintenance-free garage door will work great and look fantastic for years. Just ask the pros at M&R Garage Door. And remember, service is their specialty.
RocketGrabPlus.com. This week's deal on RocketGrabPlus.com is for Fritz's Outdoor Discounts, where you can get $50 to spend on merchandise for just $25. Fritz's Outdoor Discounts is a family-owned retailer specializing in high-quality outdoor gear and apparel at discounted prices. Whether you're a seasoned hunter, fisherman, or a first-time camper, their team is here to help you gear up for your next adventure. Visit them in the back of the Birch Run Premium Outlets. Head over to RocketGrabPlus.com to get yours today.
RocketGrabPlus.com. Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-230-2777. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance.